Hello there, everyone. Good to talk to you again. Mike Rimland, the plant hunter. That's hunter, not hunted. Today we're going to talk about a variety that we just released in the last couple months here that is coming to stores across America. We're super excited about this variety for a bunch of reasons. First reason is it's actually, at least in all my years in the business, which is a long time, the first introduction of or major introduction of a new genus in the indoor plant space. Most of the varieties that we release and other people release are falling under the genus that, genera that have been around a long time, Dieffenbachia, Calathea, Aglaonema, you know them all, Spathiphyllum, go on, Epiprenums, Scindopsis. But this is a new genus, or at least new genus released. It's not a new genus in the world. And the genus is Geogenathus. I know it's a tricky one, Geogenanthus. We're calling it for short Geo, G-E-O, which is a good way to remember it, so you can find it that way probably. The species is ciliatus, Geogenathus ciliatus, and we're super excited about it for a couple reasons. One, we love the color. The other reason that we really like this plant variety is it's a really good sheen. The cuticle or the skin of the leaf is really nice in the way it has a great shine to it. Another one of the great reasons we love this variety is the leaf is very thick, and thicker the leaf pretty much normally will mean that the plant is better indoors, holds up better, transpires a little bit slower with the thicker cuticle and the thicker leaf. Transpire is kind of the same thing as saying is sweating, moving water through the plant's leaves. The first time I saw this genus was actually 3 little tiny plants, I don't know, like this big. I found it in Southeast Asia. It's actually not from Southeast Asia, as I understand from research. It's from South America, but that's where I found it. The 3 little plants, the minute I saw it, I had never seen anything like it. They were kind of old and a little dirty, probably not fertilized right. But I knew the minute I saw it, I had never seen it before. And really all I had to do was touch it, feel it, and I knew that I really believed to be something special because, again, of that thickness of the leaf and the shine and the dark color. So from there, it took us about 5 years to develop it. It takes a lot. You can see all these plants, behind me, of geos. That 3 plants took probably close to a year and a half just to get into like 500 to 1,000 plants before we could start to really build serious stock. So when you see the plants we're developing, introducing, I should say, the development on average is a minimum 3 or 4 years. Aglaonemas can be almost 7 or 8 years. So it takes us time to build the volumes that you guys see in your stores. All right, when we're talking about new genus and how excited we are that we are introducing a new genus, looking back, some people ask, how long has it been since a new genus introduced, and for that matter, was I involved in it? Well, the last one, at least in North America, that I was involved in introducing was Calathea, also known as Calathea. You know how that darn Latin is when it comes to pronouncing names of genus and species. And that was 25, 30 years ago, the Calathea introduction. So it's not that often you come up with a new genus. I can remember Spathiphyllum in the business when I got in it in 1976, and there was just only a couple varieties. So that's the reason why we're super excited about the introduction of this new genus, and we'll see where that goes. So following up on a couple other things that are really important with Geogenanthus, as we call it Geo, is that when you're treating it, you need to think about the water side. The water is really important. It's like a Spathiphyllum, and you know how a Spathiphyllum is. I'm sure most people there have had one. When it dries out the soil, it wilts down. Some people call it sad, some people call it temperamental, but it wilts because there's no water to absorb through the plant, or I should say drink. Drink, we call it absorb. And that's because the leaves on a Spathiphyllum, like the Geo, transpire. One of the things that we have noticed already, that people look at the plant and it looks like a succulent, but it's not a succulent. The thick leaf with the shiny cuticle, you will know that also as the skin of the leaf, is really not as shiny as you think it is. And it really is transpiring a lot, which is also known, again, think of it as sweating, getting rid of water. So treat it like a Spathiphyllum. When you see it lay down, wilt, again, look sad, all those different words that you might think of when a plant doesn't stand straight up, water it. And as far as frequency of water, I would not let it dry out. When you think it's getting close and it's moist, add some water. I don't believe, within reason, as long as there's drainage, I don't believe that you can actually overwater this variety. That's how much water it's moving. When it comes to humidity, and in some cases, there's a couple different thinkings on what humidity are. Humidity is really the moisture level in the air. We're not going to get too technical with it. There is really the language of relative humidity, but we'll stick with just humidity. But in general, it is relative humidity. And the reason for that is, real quickly, is the higher the temperature, the more capacity to absorb moisture. So that's why it's called relative humidity. So when it comes to humidity, there's been a lot of talk out there that, you know, this plant likes a lot of humidity. We can tell you that we've been testing it, me personally have been testing it for about almost 5 years, and 50 to 60% humidity. We are in South Florida. For us in an air-conditioned environment, our air-conditioned environment down here is like the northern part of the United States and Canada when it comes to the wintertime when you're using heat, and that our humidity is low because our air conditioning is actually pulling the moisture out, just like your heaters are pulling out the moisture in the wintertime, it is for us in the summer. So we know 50 to 60% humidity. We have plants, one right now sitting in my office, not even in a window. It's been there almost a year. Doesn't have any marginal issues on the leaves. I do keep it wet. I don't let it wilt, even though I have purposely wilted it down to see how it does, and it's come right back up in a day and a half, 2 days. 3 to 4 to 5 days not watering it, you're going to have a problem with that. But back to the humidity. Again, 50 to 60%. If you are in the northern parts of the country where you're really burning a lot of fuel, heat, and it's dry, you should probably, if it's 25% humidity, you should probably look at, with all your plants really, begonias, cane-like begonias are pretty tricky with super low humidity. You should look at, again, closing them in some type of domed environment. I don't think you'd have to go as far as a terrarium or some of these closed aquariums that are actually people are using for some of these very rare begonias in particular, but still you need to keep the humidity at probably at least 40%, 50%, and you won't have any problem with the plant. So we have a trade show, TPIE, that Tropical Plant Industry Exhibition, that's held every year. It's been held for the last 50 years. It's a wholesale trade show. It's held normally in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, because this is where most of the nurseries are. Right now it's in Tampa. And we entered some plants. We enter every year a bunch of varieties that we believe are really new and cool. They have to be new in our industry, not new on Earth. Again, especially with Geo. Geo is not a new plant on Earth. It is a species from the wild. But we entered it and it won New Plant of the Year. And most of the comments we got back, which were consistent with the other ones that we had seen over the last 6 months as we showed it to some of the buyers from the companies we do business with, and they all looked at it and said, it's like from Mars or something. It looks from another planet. So it's a very unique plant. It has great profile. The color is really a big part of it. The shine is a big part of it. But again, great one. I'm surprised it wasn't found by somebody or even myself. So again, look for it in your stores across North America as it comes across.